Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, and yippee! Look what's finally arrived. I had to get it from the UK, not from the US. The live Segerstam Sibelius recordings with the Helsinki Phil. This is great stuff. Absolutely great stuff. And we're going to go through it disc by disc. This whole set is 15 CDs, but 11 of them are Sibelius, and the others are like other interesting things, including some other Sibelius. But let me just see if I can open it. Oh, there we go. It opened. That's a good thing. So let's go through it disc by disc, shall we? Segerstam was a fabulous conductor. He was nuts. He began his career as a violinist. He was enormously musically gifted. He had just a huge personality and a huge gut. And, he recorded Earquake. I played Hecla under him, under his baton. And he was just a sport. He loved music, and it just sort of emanated from him. And he could be a little perverse. He could be a little slow. He was a totally insane composer. He wrote like 7,000 symphonies that consist of random noise in various ways. I mean, he was really out there, but an enormously gifted musician. And the important thing in his Sibelius recordings is that because he was a string player himself, he paid enormous attention to string articulation and ensemble, and that is so important in Sibelius's music. Often he divides up the strings all kinds of ways, and they've really got to be on top of it in tune. They have to be able to energize acres of tremolo, or that sort of, what they call cross-hatched writing, where they're going, those pedal points that go on. He could make them vibrate with life in a way that was much more important than the absolute tempo at which he took the thing. So he was wonderful in this music, and it really deserves to be heard by everybody. I mean, I just got a comment from somebody who said, my favorite Sibelius cycle is the Anthony Collins on deck. I almost died because it's horrible. The playing is disgusting. And you listen to something like that and something like this, and it's a different universe. It really is. So, symphonies, numbers 1 and 7, fabulous. The first is grand and exciting and romantic and thrilling, and the 7th is organic and rich and big and bold and beautiful, but not too slow at all. It's 21 minutes. It's a quick performance of the 7th, but it really has majesty and nobility, and it's thrilling. Okay, numbers 2 and 6. 2, well, I think 2 could be a little zippier in the finale. It's not a crawl by any stretch of the imagination. But I think a little more excitement would not be amiss. It's still a beautiful performance. 6 is wonderful, beautifully shaped. Again, those strings, they sound marvelous. 3 is also absolutely fantastic, with a finale that is not a letdown, which is kind of amazing. The 5th is also thrilling all the way through to the end. The first movement is a bit deliberate, but he handles the transition to the scherzo-like second half of the movement perfecto mundo, and the acceleration leading to the end of the movement itself. Wow, powerful stuff. Pohjola's Daughter, thrilling. One of the great recordings of that you've ever heard in your life. The 4th Symphony, a reference version. It's absolutely magnificent in every possible way. Finlandia, well, what's not to love? It's fabulous. And Kullervo, one of the great recordings of that work. Fabulously well done. Before the critical edition came out, I know for a fact he wasn't working from the critical edition. But it is a wonderful performance nonetheless. It sounds like it is working for the critical edition. I mean, they really shape it into something. And the soloists are Soili Isakowski and Tommy Hakala, and they're terrific. The Lemminkainen Legends, that's also marvelous. Wow, is that great, with Tapiola as the coupling. Absolutely fantastic. Lemminkainen in Twinella is second, which I like. I like it when it's second, because I think it sort of works better that way, with the Swan of Twinella as the third and slow movement. Somehow it sounds more symphonic to me that way. I don't know. The Violin Concerto with Pekka Kuusisto, very, very beautifully played. The Karelia Suite, Segerstam always brought out inner voices in a beautiful, beautiful way. And there's, in the intermezzo, at the beginning of the Karelia suite, there's, the brass are going da da dum bum bum ba da da bum bum ba da dum bum bum ba, and the part where they go ba 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 da dum bum 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 ba. There's a counter melody in the cellos, and he just has it come singing in there underneath it. Oh, it was so beautiful, absolutely wonderful. The suite from Belshazzar's Feast. You don't hear that every day, and it's great fun. CD8, the Oceanides, and the two Tempest suites played absolutely magnificently, beautifully, wonderfully well with Night Ride and Sunrise. A really powerful performance of that. Then we get the disc of orchestral songs with Jorma Hundinen, a fantastic singer who handles these songs magnificently. And then there's the other disc of orchestral songs, all of them, including Luanotar, which is just like amazing, with Soili Isakowski, which is sensational. And this is all with the Helsinki Philharmonic, and they play like fabulously. It's just wonderful. Then we've got a bunch of cantatas. We have the Academic March, the cantata for the conferment ceremony of 1894. Okay, it's not exactly a thriller, but it's 24 minutes of agreeable music. The Andante Festivo, the coronation cantata from 1896, and Finlandia with choir. Well, I would rather not hear the choir, but there you go. It's okay. Now we get the bonus stuff. Toivo Kula, who lived from 1883 to 1918. His festive march, the South Ostrobothnian suites numbers 1 and 2, and the Prelude and Fugue opus 10 with the Turku Philharmonic. He's not going to be a household name, but it's enjoyable romantic music in the national romantic style. And it's fun, so that's okay. Erkki Melartin, remember his disc of that stuff, which was gorgeous, with John Storgard's violin. Storgard's is now conducting mostly. The Violin Concerto in D minor, which is a very beautiful work. The Lyric Suite number 3, Impressions of Belgium, which is also wonderful. And the suite from the ballet Sleeping Beauty. This was, people heard this and went, ooh, where's that been all our lives? Melartin was a good composer, a really good composer. His symphonies are now being made out of critical editions on CPO, and it's really quite something to hear them, the way that they were intended to be heard. Very beautiful stuff. Then we have a disc called Pictures from Finland, which has all kinds of interesting stuff. You've got Uno Klami's Suomenlinna Overture, and Selim Palmgren's Spring Dreams, and Sleigh Ride, and Levi Madetoya, The Prisoner's Song from the opera The Ostrobothnians, Oscar Maricanto, who was Ari Maricanto's dad, his Valse Lent, Armas Järnefelt, his Preludium, that's his most famous piece, it's 2 minutes and 39 seconds long, Tonelli Kuusisto, this is Finnish Prayer, Ari Maricanto's Entrada, and Sibelius's Valse Triste and Spring Song with the Helsinki Phil. A fun collection of rarities and little gems. And Scandinavian Rhapsody. So we go past Finland, again with the Helsinki Phil, doing Sinding's Rustle of Spring, orchestrated by Hans Sitt. I played that on the piano. Da, 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 da. It was pretty. It's so much fun. Ola Bull, A Shepherd Girl's Sunday, orchestrated by Johann Svensson. Then Johann Svensson's Romance, Opus 26. Some Grieg stuff, Morning from Peer Gynt. In the Hall of the Mountain King, Alfin's Dance of the Shepherd Girl. Nielsen's Masquerade Overture, Hans Christian Lumby. The Champagne Gallop, Erkki Melartin. Festive March from Sleeping Beauty, which we already know. Heki Altoila. Oh my goodness, Wedding Waltz of Axeli and Elena. Well, I hope they had a good time. Heino Koski, Prelude, Opus 7, Oscar Maricanto, Summer Evening Waltz, Armas Järnefelt, his Berceuse, and Sibelius's The Alla Marcia from the Karelia Suite. Okay, well, that's all right. The Elegy from King Christian II, and Finlandia to end. Wow, quite a collection. Anyway, this is just wonderful stuff, and they were so smart not to make an issue of whether it was all Sibelius or not all Sibelius, just to take all the Segerstam, Finnish, Helsinki Phil and other things, CDs, and just stuff them in a box and let us grab them because they're marvelous. Simply marvelous. So get this. If you didn't get it the first time around, now is your chance. I actually have the symphonies. They're sitting, right here. See? There they are. I keep them handy. But now I have them this way too. So I'm doubly happy. And I know for a fact that you will be as well. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.